Cyberpunk 2077, the fourth major game by CD Projekt Red. It was developed after their success with The Witcher 3. They were coming off hot with one of the greatest games of all time, or so I think at this moment, wink wink. It was a heavily anticipated game with the tagline of "coming when it's ready." It did not, in fact, come when it was ready. The game released in a buggy hellhole state that was awful despite constant delays, and as of writing this, I think that we're on patch 2.32 or something like that. Have the problems been fixed? Was it worth the hype? Was it good? Before we get started, I will say I have to explain the difficulty options for this series. You have story, easy, normal, hardcore/veteran, and insanity. These are the 5 difficulties that I am working with here. I'm going to be playing every game on the hardcore/veteran difficulties, so difficulty 4, to save myself the sanity while also having a little bit of a challenge. For Cyberpunk 2077, I will be playing on the baked-in difficulty setting, hard. I will not be using any mods for this playthrough, despite having just a few installed. These are mostly just appearance change mods, clothing, nothing that outright changed the game in any way, shape, or form. I do have a reshade enabled, but that's because I want my footage and gameplay to stand out a bit. Now let's get into it. The story starts off with you customizing your character. You can create a large number of options for V, whether you pick male or female body. You can also have a male or female voice. Now this will affect romance dialogue later in the game. Interesting, right? Anyways, I created a near perfect copy of myself until the game's character creator bugged out and I had to copy my number values and restart it from scratch. We weren't headed to a great start. After that, you pick your stats. I went with a balanced loadout. I will be playing this game as blandly and vanilla as possible. Nothing out of the ordinary or super broken or advanced. I'm putting myself in the shoes of a normal player who's expecting an action game here. Then you pick your backstory. Now the backstories here are Corpo, Street Kid, or Nomad. All of them make no real difference in gameplay outside of your starting outfit, how you meet Jackie Wells, and some various dialogue options throughout the game. I chose Nomad for this playthrough. As my first playthrough, I picked Street Kid, and I wanted something to fit a little bit closer to myself, being in a rural area and all. So as a Nomad, you start out tearing off your patch from your previous clan and fixing up a car before an annoying sheriff comes up to annoy you. Then you hightail it out of there to a radio tower. Minutes of tedious dialogue later, you drive to Jackie, who's locked up in a cabin somewhere. Then you drive tediously to a border checkpoint where you get interrogated, then are driven tediously until Arasaka pulls up on your hindquarters, no more than 50 seconds into the border. You're put into an on-rail shooter section with no way of healing your character. After that, you find a place to lie low and boom, that's how you met Jackie. Cue the 2-minute cutscene about you bonding with Jackie because CD Projekt Red would rather just tell you you're good friends with Wells instead of showing it by having a considerable chunk of the game being about making it to this point. Then you do a scav job that expects you to sneak around like an idiot, like you didn't purchase a game about action. Yeah, that's right. Cyberpunk 2077 is a stealth game. A lot of gigs rely on you being stealthy and not killing anyone. But we'll get into my thoughts on that later. So you sneak around in this section, see way too much boob for Twitch or YouTube, and get punched by Trauma Team because, I don't know, man, Night City is cool or something. After this, you tediously walk back to the car, then tediously get driven to your apartment. When you finally go to sleep, you get to Act 1. The prologue is finally finished. You finally have free will after an hour of gameplay, except you don't. See, during the prologue, Night City's District Watson got locked down. Do you remember the old Grand Theft Auto games where you were stuck in one section of the map until you completed a certain quest? Well, that's what this is. The player is stuck in Watson until they complete the Konpeki Plaza heist. So an hour into the open world game and you still don't get to explore the open world. Well, the problem with bum rushing for the heist is you're going to want to do a bunch of side quests, police scanners, or Regina Jones gigs. Because if you don't, then you're going to get scoped by the game's brutal difficulty curve. I took like 10 takes to say that. So that's what I did next. I went around Night City after getting my upgrades from Vic, mopped up a few side quests. Nothing major since this series isn't going to be about 100%ing games. I'm just trying to play this as the average Joe. Playing a few side quests before the next story mission is about par for the course, also because I don't want to be hilariously outgunned toward the end of the game. And before I got more in Act 1, I will say that for this series I'm going to focus on the main story and major side quest chain. So for Cyberpunk that means finishing Judy, Panam, River, and Carrie storylines, as well as some side gigs and police scanner missions here and there. The goal is to get a good idea of what this game is about without completing every single possible mission. So anyways, I continue on my way. Before I really start Act 1, I decided to do a side gig and police scanner event to pick up some loot, weapons, and money. I won't be doing too many of these throughout the game, but I will get enough to get an idea about how the game works. After these, I beeline through Act 1, speeding through the tedious brain dance segments.
You look like a cut of fuckable meat, are you?
As well as finding Meredith, who was bugged. It was pretty funny seeing her hands not connected to her body at all. I spent way too much time decrypting the chip, then moved on to just smashing through Maelstrom, before I went on to the Afterlife. I hit up another side gig, rescuing a Ripper from some scavs, but before I could even do this, the police were after me for no reason. That's one of the big issues I have with this game, is that the police are just way too jumpy. I can't so much as scratch another person's car's paint without being searched around Ronson. Either way, it's on to the Afterlife. I decline drinks because I'm straight edge in real life, so of course my V is going to be 2, and that means I'm not going to drink at all throughout the game, and there's a lot of prompts for this. Next up, I put on this suit and talk to Dex. Before I entered the Delamain, I upgraded my armor because I'm being obliterated. Yes, a Ripper dog. I feel like the average player might not visit these guys too often, but I think they'll completely forget they exist. But I'm going to take advantage of them without going way too in-depth into the mechanics. I don't think the average person's going to expand too much on this. We make it to Compeki Plaza. Put our pistols into the car's bin thing. It's like a center console, but for the back. Yeah, because I'm only using the pistol. I clearly don't have an assault rifle shoved up my ass. A little bit more than just a pistol up my ass, but... Next, I go through yada 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 5 years of dialogue, then a Spidey section. Both this and the brain dance from earlier feel like they just force you to click the button every once in a while because they know when you're going to eat while playing and don't want you to put down the controller. They're specifically timed just to annoy you the most. Anyways, after this I pick up Yurnubu's guns and outfits, as well as the iguana egg, not like it's gonna hatch in my playthrough, but you know, whatever. Then I steal the relic, hide in the container, and stare down Adam Smasher, who totally doesn't know that we're here, and just doesn't get paid enough to care. Yippee! T-Bug gets absolutely obliterated. We fall to our doom, literally, as Jackie is mortally wounded. Slot the chip in and start hightailing it down slowly and sneakily. At some point I just give up this stealth and just start blasting. That's what the average person would probably do, right? Then I almost die on the bottom floor while Jackie holds up the line, just standing there getting shot at. Thank you. Then he has the audacity to complain that he's leaking. Yo, no shit you're leaking. You let the combat mech shoot you in the chest 22 times, dumbass. Then we book it and the game crashes. Wow, thanks. After I get back into the game, a day later, I do this chase sequence all over again, and then watch Jackie slowly bleed out. This scene would have had a lot more emotional impact had Jackie had more proper character development, and had it not been spoiled in the trailers. Well, speaking of trailers, I slowly walk broodingly, like that Spider-Man gif, all the way to the motel room after sending Jackie to his mom. That I meet Panam, harass her, and tell her to help me out on this job to take down a Kung Pao chicken vessel over some Fillets Gap or whatever. But first, we must do the quest to get her trunk. Well, we zoom along and do jack shit. Talk to her people on the camp, unskippable walking scenes, more talking in the car. Line up some plan to steal her car back. I completely forgot this mission existed. We do this crap, then wowee, I have to get inside the building after several more minutes of unskippable bullcrap. I can't force open the door, and the windows were never breakable in this game before, so how the fuck am I supposed to know to break the window? Thanks, Panam. More minutes come by, And finally, we see some action. Well, great news, the difficulty curve in this game is ridiculous. So this level is just not fun in the slightest, even though the previous mission was easy. Why is that? Well, this game has this thing where it expects you to do all its menial side quests and optimize the best possible build in existence in order to have an enjoyable time. I took a break from the game, booted it back up, and slogged through the rest of this awful mission. After we get to the car, Panam insists on killing Nash. At this point of the game, I'm sick of her, and I'm sick of playing, so I just say no. She gives me the silent treatment, but I don't give two shits. We meet up with 6th Street Boys after V aura farms in the car like Charlie Sheen in that one movie. Sometime later, I pick up a free car from Rogue. Then more tedium before I hook up to a machine gun and then get electric shock therapy to take down that AV. Her clan attacks it like idiots, then dies. I dare try sneaking up to the thing, but got blasted with rockets, so I just alt F4 the game. I got a fresh start the very next day, and was able to get around the rockets by cheesing behind a rock. We find Mitch in the AV, I kill the hostage taker. I'm not sure what I would have done in real life, but it made sense in the game for me at that time. Scorpion is dead, so we naturally take a ride and follow where the Chinese were headed. Before we go though, I pick up a smart sniper and a tech sniper. No more need for this weird intermediate precision rifle. We follow the trail, then fight against a bunch of Kung Tao in their airstrip. One of them got bugged behind a cargo container, so I used a tech sniper rifle to blast him with a charged shot. Then we go to a gas station. I die once through the game, just wanting to remove all my momentum, and fight again. This time, being even more conservative, I got run over by a car that felt targeted towards me, and ended up 400 feet away from the fight. Back in action, I make it in the building. I pistol whip the guy working on helmet. I'm not sure it's alive, right? Then the Aldacatos show up for some reason, just to show up, I guess. Then I take Anders to the Sunshine Motel. Inside, he tells me that there's no cure to Johnny being in my head. He'll take over at some point, and you want to make deals. Outside, the relic malfunctions, so I collapse. Johnny tries to have some heart-to-heart, but I'm stubborn and tell him to buzz off. Keep going on and on and on about something with Makoshi. Whatever.
In the meantime, I head over to Lizzie's bar to talk to Judy. Judy mentioned something about clouds, so I go over to upgrade my cyberware again. But I got no moolah. So at the gun store, I sell my trash, guns, and clothes. Still not a lot, so I do a few gigs and NCPD scanner missions. The gig was rescuing some woman. I managed to do it stealth with no casualties, right until the end where bad timing had me in a shootout. I also decided to help move some guy from Japan from a fridge elsewhere. My payment was €1,000 and a katana. I was rightfully furious. Apparently, this was some reference to The Office, a show that I don't really like and is used by people in my area to show that they're basic with no personality or taste. I also received a call from some Elizabeth Perales. Surely this won't be important and totally not a major quest chain that I feel obligated to complete later. Well, my cyberware upgrade was shock mantis blades and better eyes for my tech sniper. Those looked cool, so I head over to Clouds and meet Sky because who in their right mind picked Angel? Sky sees right through me and had my V have this really emotional moment about wanting to be remembered and not lose who he is. There's a level of sentimentality here that I could relate to V. He's naive and feels like just a kid. And this is the only part of the lore in this game that makes sense for V to be 23 years old. He's, the most powerful solo ever. And they retcon him to be 23 from 27. 27 makes a lot more sense. Because the 27 Club. Anyways, V feels vulnerable for even but a moment. Sky reassures V that there's nothing to be afraid of. And everything has an end. Like this conversation. Evelyn apparently was attacked by a customer, but if you explored her booth before you entered Sky's booth like I did, it makes no sense that V would willingly accept this answer. Well, we go to Tom in the VIP section and move to Woodman. Woodman explains what happened to Evelyn. She went to some guy named Fingers.
Well, Kid Named Finger is on Jig Street, so V kills Woodman. Now, this isn't something I think I would have done personally in real life, but we could just say Johnny did it or something. Who really cares? Those mantis blades came in real handy here. V has another relic attack on his way out, then is given a speech by Johnny being whiny as usual. "Ma corpo's this, ma Arasaka that." Like, damn bro, shut up already. I would have not had this conversation with Johnny if I hadn't heard the line,
"If I need your body, I'll fuck it."
So outside, my phone call is interrupted 17 times by that damn vending machine outside. It gave me some night cola though. Before I fully go to Jig Street to continue my journey, I hit up some side gigs and NCPD missions to get some extra cash. Then I finally make it to Kid Named Finger, where I'm laughing my ass off at all of these jokes, such as V being an escort and Judy's horrible attempts to pretend to be a sick joy toy.
She's in real sorry shape. You couldn't let us cut in front, just this once.
Of course. I mean, be my guest. Well, now hold on a sec. Didn't seem so bad just a minute ago.
She's a toughie.
We make it in, talk to the creepy-looking bald skinny man, and drag. Then I drag him to the ground after he insults Judy. I feel like Judy's been a better friend than Panam has at this point in the game. Well, Evelyn's been taken to Death's Head BD Makers, lovely name, so I grab one like a narc and boot up to some guy feeling like he's being torn apart. Terrifying. I find the place, snipe the crap out of them, then finally find Evelyn looking like hammered shit. After this, V finds himself smoking on Judy's roof. I don't even know where he got the cigarettes. I certainly didn't purchase any. We explore some other BD, have my eyes flashbanged every single time by this BD thing, and find out that it was the Voodoo Boys who hired Evelyn to find Alt Cunningham and Johnny Silverhand. This is going to be a rough one. Well, I get a call from Panam to go meet her, so I decided to detour to meet her. Something about Saul. We journey through the desert because Saul is missing. She insists on stealth, but the average Joe isn't going to be able to stealth this. So, I just blast right through him, much to Panam's chagrin. I rescue Saul, then die because the game doesn't allow you to have fun and play aggressively. So I pick up a shotgun and go to town semi-aggressively, while still being a little bit conservative. I almost die 300 times on the van ride back because CD Projekt Red has a hard-on for these on-rail car chase sequences where you could barely heal. At the lowly cabin, I go outside 300 times because I'm looking for the power switch. The game was telling me to go to the mirror in the bathroom. No, I was just hidden away. I only found that out after looking up the bug on Reddit. Anyways, then I go outside again, then Panam puts her legs on me. V goes a little bit too far, then passes out damn near instantly. In the morning, Panam gives V her sniper. So much for the tech eyes. Then I go to Jackie's funeral. Inside the shed with Misty, I pick up tequila for his whatever it's called. Then I shed a manly tear during the funeral itself. I would decline his bike here, but I really needed a better handling vehicle, so... And the Rayfield Caliburn isn't spawning right now, but I'm almost done with the main story, that is. I make my way to Panam, where she's arguing with Saul again, and this time he wants to sell out to the corpse, and Panam wants to steal a basilisk. We go and steal it. It's suggested by the lady who voices Sarah Ryder in Mass Effect Andromeda, wink, wink, that Panam has ulterior motives for inviting me to this mission. I'm oblivious, of course, and I find a punch card, then watch the train. We go outside and sit around a campfire, where I put my arms around Panam, and V falls asleep instantly again. Wonderful. In the morning, we leave our stuff on the ground and just instantly go over the basilisk. We snag it after fighting off Militech, and Saul and Panam have the shortest argument in existence. It's actually kind of funny. So next, I go to Judy. She's crying because Evelyn Parker is dead in the bathtub. She committed the act herself. We put her on the bed, then Judy yells at the cops to get her. We sit on the rooftop and have an autistic conversation. I go to Takamura. We meet Hanako's bodyguard, who refuses to help us at all. What a waste of time. We head over to Jig Street to see Okada. I laugh my ass off at this section where the guy mistakes Goro as a comedian. And then he does the impression.
Back her up! Wow,
Innocent. What happened to you?
I do not know. I do not recognize myself. Are you happy? May we go? Let's go.
Well, we get the details for the mission for free. Lovely. Then I go back to Pan Am, who has the basilisk ready to go. We take it on a test drive and proceed to have the weirdest sexual scene I have ever seen in my life. I imagine they felt exactly what each other were feeling, and I'm not sure exactly how to feel about that, honestly. Then, right at the end, an explosion. I move the basilisk and fight off the Raffin invaders. And suddenly, Pan Am is welcomed back to their family again. The story was all over the place. One second they're cool, the next they're not. More bipolar than a woman with BPD in a mental institution. Well, now that that's over, we toast. Pan Am offers to have us go with her and stay at the camp, but V refuses. V passes out, then has a conversation with Pan Am about the biochip. Well, this is interesting and hits home a lot where V doesn't want Pan Am to treat him any differently, despite him dying. Well, she says this won't change her mind about him. Outside of the tent, Saul says we're always welcome. Now remember this for later. These few scenes will come in clutch for the endings later on down the line, for both good and bad. I'm just gonna say it now, because I didn't do the actual ending for fucking Phantom Liberty. I'm gonna go on a tangent here. Phantom Liberty. So I did it one time before. And it has Pan Am, ignore your calls, Mitch says, forget about it, right? So what happened? What happened? Oh, we're always going to be here for you. Apparently fucking not. Anyways. In the meantime, I'm just twiddling my thumbs, waiting for the rest of the River, Parallels, and Judy questlines. I do a buttload of side content in Santo Domingo in the meantime, and even grab Skippy, who proves useless. David's jacket is ugly, so I don't wear it, and I wait a few days in my apartment when Takamura doesn't call. So I jump off the apartment building as suggested by Reddit, and wow, that worked. We go to Japantown and do menial labor in preparation for the heist. After that nonsense, nothing else triggers, even after sleeping for 2 straight weeks. Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it? So I end my stream and follow the advice of a Reddit post where it says to fast travel to Pacifica and just stare up at the sky until all the quests come flooding in. It works. I had this running in the background while I was lying in bed for about 2-3 hours. And I'd hop out of bed, hit tea, phone calls, and it was nice. It was a wonderful time. My computer was super hot. So after about 3 hours of that, the next day I begin to play again. I go with Riverward's quest in searching for his nephew who got kidnapped. We infiltrate the police station and spend way too long looking for a BD because the level time is awful. Well, we don't actually find it, and Pan Am's Asian trauma team clone comes in and chastises us. Then we go to a trailer park that's not actually that bad of a place to live, all things considered. We dig through Randy's room. He seems a little bit fruity. Snooping about, we find out what happened. He got kidnapped. Well, V sleeps horribly, then goes through 3 BDs that are genuinely almost horror-esque. It's great psychological horror watching this creepy man in his weird dreams. It's absolutely just a little bit archy, you know? There's a figure behind the curtains. And Reddit says this is supposed to be his mom. And Anthony is treating the boys like cattle. He's messed up in the head. So we find where he is. I get XP from disarming a few mines and I disable security. He screams way too loud as we enter the farm.
River, come here, quick!
We save the boys, then V persuades River not to kill Anthony because there's no point in killing him. He's already a vegetable. Now V goes down to the Paralysis apartment to investigate a break-in. Jefferson leaves V alone with his wife foolishly. Wink, wink. We explore the apartment and make the worst small talk imaginable until we find out they're being spied on. This is a problem. I climb the roof, find a transmitter, totally don't find Mr. Blue Eyes, and then explain it to the wife. I follow a van and my car very closely because they're taking their sweet ass time. I'm on their ass. I get to the compound, then die. Okay, fine, great. I have to chase the van again. This time, I save and snipe about. I make it inside the building, miss a few shots, and I'm dead. Okay, so I restart the fight for the third time, and then actually beat it this time and find out the paralysis are being brainwashed by an AI? So I go to Jig Jig Street where Elizabeth tells me she knew all along and not to tell Jefferson. So what do? Well, first I go to get my Rayfield Caliburn, then I tell Jefferson. Someone's messing with him, and someone's messing with me, because when my holo got rung up, I had an awful time. Was it Mr. Blue Eyes? Was it the Blackwall AIs? Wink, wink. I spent a few lives trying to jump off that little ledge before finally figuring it out, just to get to clouds again. We sneak in and talk to Judy's ex-girlfriend or crush. They were a little buddy-buddy. B is all like, let's get this over with, and starts threatening Maiko. We get nowhere, so I borrow her gun without intention of giving it back and go about my day. I wait around for Judy to call me. She asks what kind of pizza I like. I went with a cool dialogue option of avocado and artichoke with some zucchini. Now that's fucking disgusting. Who in their right mind would eat that shit? I wouldn't. I hate every single one of these fucking options, dude. Dude, I wouldn't be shocked if anchovies showed up on that pizza. The other options were fucking awful too. Tuna and pineapple? That's a fucking crime. Locust pepperoni doesn't sound too bad until you realize it's a fucking bug. Anyways, yeah, I go to her apartment, talk with the dolls, sign up for her plan, pass out from the relic, snoop around, exist, and then I leave. I go to Takamura in the most epic, super cool, cyberpunky area of the map. Wow, your Cyberpunk game, guys! Wanted it to be Synthwave, Blade Runner, Altered Carbon, literally any piece of cyberpunk media ever? No, fuck you. You get this crap. So this part of the game now sucks. If I shoot the camera, I'm spotted. Alright, fine, I'll do it the hard way. I sneak around terribly and finally hack into the flow. The difficulty spike in this game is fucking atrocious. Apparently, people could just take a 50 caliber bullet to the dome and live just fine. And magically know where the bullet fucking came from to alert everybody to that position. Fuck this game, dude. I finally hack this shit and get the fuck out of there with my double jump. Yeah, I'm angry. I'm not doing double takes on that crap. The parade starts and my game is lagging. It's actually pretty funny. Anyways, I take out the snipers. I struggle with some Arasaka guy standing in the stairway. My solution was to just shoot my gun to have him go to the sound of my bullet. Then I take him out when he walks back to the stairs. I take out the final sniper, then the netrunner, and boom, Oda knows where I am somehow. Well, I kill him on easy mode because fuck the hard mode difficulty version of that boss battle. I finally end him, then end up in an apartment and blow up several times because I didn't pay attention to what fucking Takamura said. Arasaka shows up, then I save Takamura using the Sendevistan and Mentis Blaze combos. It absolutely fucking sucks, but you know, whatever. I save him, pull out my assault rifle, and barely make it out alive. In the Sunshine Motel or whatever Hanako finds me in, tells me to meet her at Embers. Yep, that's it. That's the main quest. 5 fucking missions. Isn't that fun? Magically, somehow, we're already done. Well, no worries, as I still have Phantom Liberty and the rest of the companion quest lines. I pass out, then Johnny wakes me up at a hotel. He wants me to take those pills to talk to Rogue. I tell him fuck off. Now I'd stick with this decision, but I need to complete every main quest. Don't I? How else am I supposed to review this game? Well, then I do it. Johnny takes way too long in my body. Then I throw up on the floor in a motel. Great. Well, I bought the Northside apartment after that. Now I just need to wait for Rura and Judy's final missions to pop up. In the meantime, I'll continue banging out the Johnny side quests chain and get to Carrie and finally be able to finish the game. Next up, I was doing the Johnny side quest chain. Control, control, control. Give up control to Johnny over and over and over. He just wants it more and more and more. And this is exactly what Anders Hellman said. He goes about trashing my body and then finds the location of some random dude that works with Smasher. So we find him, I save him, I get to Johnny's Porsche, and then go to the oil field where Johnny was dumped. It all hinders on how this conversation goes. I'm an asshole to him the entire game, but this conversation, I'm nice to him. Next, we take Rogue on a date. They almost get busy, but no dice. Next, we find Carrie, sneak into his house from the front door, and save some lady from the maelstrom. Put on one last gig, and move on with our lives because the storyline kinda sucks. Anyways, I finish Judy's quest. First, I try to stop Maiko, but the guards inside absolutely obliterate me, so I'm like, you know what? Let's just give Maiko what she wants, right? Yeah, Judy's not happy. But why should I care? Her quest line is over. Except it's not. It's just going to call me in the ending for some reason. Only thing this will affect is the ending. That's so weird, right? So anyways, I go to do Carrie's quest. We blow up a van. Wow. We go to some coffee place where outside someone does a terrible impression of the Big Smoke order.
I'll have 2 number 9s, 1 supersized, 1 regular.
Anything else?
A number 6 with that.
Let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
A large Nyko.
Would you like an extra shot of high-density pure fructose?
Sure. Why not?
Oh, dude. Oh, that's actually cool. That's cool. I like that. There's a. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I gotta note that. Then I meet with River. I make jambalaya. Joss wants to get with me, but River's like, no, fuck you. So we climb a tower. I drink lemonade. Wow. Next, Carrie wants to sneak into a concert. So we do. How quaint. Some misunderstanding. Who really cares? Now I get to really start. Phantom Liberty. I go to the Dogtown gate where the guy asks if I have cyber wheels.
Yo, got cyber wheels or something? Feet on the sidewalk now.
I thought that was pretty funny. I really wonder what was here before 2.0 in Phantom Liberty. Anyways, I get attacked by Songbird again, who disables Johnny and tells me to get in from the side. Well, I do that by going about a very dangerous journey through falling things. Terrible nightmare. Well, I go to the roof of the stadium and watch Space Force 1 crash waltz into me. I run to the area, mostly sneakily, with some fighting. I find Rosalind Myers, the new sub-president, and fight off hordes and hordes of enemies. No big deal. Make it to a building area where I sneak through, take a car, fail 3 times before I finally ditch the car and sneak my way to the place where I need to go. In there, we get attacked. I set the difficulty to easy because fuck that shit. Then we run from a big robot thing, then fight the robot. I did this back on hard.
Jump on top and finish it, V! The sucker's gonna blow! Kill it now! V, catch! Give it a taste!
Rust and piss, shitbot!
Shitbot. Rust and piss shitbot.
Nicely done!
Damn. So then we go through tunnels and make it to a quaint apartment building. Abandoned. I pledge the oath of the new sub to be an agent and find Solomon Reed, who points a gun at me in a basketball court. I did this all to piss off Johnny. We talk, and Eldris Elba tells me to go to Alex. I go to Alex, who's playing Whiteface. Then I disarm her, and they catch up. Then I talk to her about So Me. Then, who gives a damn? I make my way to Slider and fight the Voodoo Boys. Then see Songbird is using the Black Wall and is captured by Kurt Hansen. Well, the only way to get to her is by doing 3 Dogtown gigs. 3 gigs. And they're not very easy. Horrible. These robots come, and fuck it. I'm doing all these on easy mode. All the gigs. Then there's one with a church. I fall on top of the building and call it a night there. I get dressed into a pristine blue suit and walk swankily to the party. I hit people up, don't drink, and then finally meet Songbird, who reveals not only does she have a cure for V. Thank you, my script writing at probably 7 a.m. But also the cure for herself and Hansen's hands. So the way to get them is by chatting up a couple twins. A twink and a batty short-haired French lady. I bet it all and win it all. Then get groped by the French lady. But that's just part of the job. I then go to the hideout to get my job after being kicked out of the club by Hansen himself. Next job is to hijack signal data to get a car to steal the twins' identities. Songbird wants me to meet up. Instead, I speak with Carrie and don't do the romance quest line because I'm not gay. He does some E3, you're breathtaking Easter egg. More proof that this shitty game was developed in such a short amount of time. I'm like, really, bro? I talk with Alex and dance, but my cat hit the F9 key and reset a lot of progress, so I logged out for the night. Okay, this time with a fresh set of eyes, I go back to Alex, dance with her again, and then I make my way to Songbird. She opens up about the situation, why she portrayed the president, why she's playing V, why she wants to survive. I press her the entire conversation, basically guilt tripping. After it's all over, I call Reed. He tells me to go to a Ripper Doc, who basically rolls my face up and replaces it with a new one. I'm not exactly sure how this works. I was also wondering, what does this poor woman see when she's doing this? I'm sure it can't be pretty. She basically flayed me right there in that chair. Do Ripper Docs properly disinfect these chairs? Anyways, I have the power to change faces now, like Alex did. I track down the French twins' car, then hijack it. I barely make it, then Reed and Alex flatline them. V is obviously pissed about the situation. He quickly adapts and becomes the twink with the big ears. Bro is highly allergic to strawberries. We get to the stadium, get ID stand twice. Then I'm pressed by Kurt Hansen. I make it to the neural network thing. It looks like a brain. Well, no shit. Anyways, I save, and this is my critical junction. I have to betray someone. I betray Songbird for now. And she's straight up scary. I sneak my way around the stadium thanks to my optical camo and bolt it to Reed's car, where we watch Max Tack apprehend Songbird. Well, now we need a runner. I pay Mr. Hands, the horse lover, 15 grand, and we're good to go. I feel like we've just been abusing Mr. Hands' trust this entire time. So I go to Kabuki, find the netrunner. Unfortunately, I lost the footage again. I was going through my footage here. I downloaded every single file that I exported to YouTube, and I exported every single clip, every single stream to YouTube, and apparently I do not have it. Essentially, the Reed questline, the Max Tack battle stunk, and there was an alien isolation part, so I decided to say no, went back to do the Songbird questline, and I got through that one pretty easily with the 3-round burst sniper rifle, and yeah, here we are. So I took a several-day break at this point to ease myself into the final 2 missions. I have to decide which ending I want. While I'm certainly not equipped for Don't Fear the Reaper, either way, I'm going to have the Face Smasher. I don't think I spent enough time with Pan Am for her ending, but sure, I'll pick the star. I'll also do the easy way out just for the aesthetics, and then I won't do the tower, apparently, as I said I was going to the script, but I didn't. So first, I upgrade my cybernetics and get max ammo on all my guns since I'm expecting a fight. Next, Reed calls me, and he escapes Night City. I ride on his car the entire way until he vaporizes near the border, and I go back to Johnny and sleep at the North Side apartment for a day. I go to Misty's and choose the easy way out. V and Johnny talk words, and it plays out interestingly. Credits roll, and half berate V and the other half are sad. Well, back to the sun. Or star. Johnny suggests Don't Fear the Reaper. I say nah, just go Pan Am. I wait for Pan Am to arrive. After Pan Am arrives, I go to the camp and talk with people. I go to Alt, she agrees to help. I try to go to systems, and we prepare more. I sleep next to Pan Am on top of the mountain, and then the next day we ride out in the Basilisk. We use it to cause destruction and chaos, and I defend against several waves of enemies. Not too difficult. Next, we go into the tunnel and tell Mitch to stay behind and drill, drill, drill. We break on through to the other side. With the help of optical camo, I sprint to the maintenance shaft, then take out a guard. Next, I go through this room where I pick off enemies with Her Majesty. Alt kills everyone else. Not just the men, but the women and the children too. Adam Smasher arrives. I shit myself every time he sprints at me with his Sandevistan. Also, he killed Saul. Pretty brutally. His head was gone. I run around in circles, like that Oblivion character, until he gets stuck. I stay in place with my 3-round burst explosive sniper and pick off 2 phases worth of his health. Also snipers. Then he gets unstuck. I shit myself again, slowly picking him off and mostly misusing my own Apogee Sansevistan that I got specifically for this mission, I keep hitting him with my assault rifle. Mostly because I'm out of sniper ammo. Eventually, I whittle down his health until he floats mid-air. I decide to spare him just to let him wallow in it. And it'd probably piss Johnny off. I crawl to Mikoshi, then die. Well, now a copy of myself is in Mikoshi. I say goodbye to Johnny and get my body for 6 more months. I drive away with the Aldecados through a sandstorm and sit on the top of a basilisk over water as we make our way to Langley so the FIA's people can fix the neural wiring. Now I make it to Langley for my operation and totally don't go in an AV and tell Johnny one final goodbye. Nope, we drove there, yep. Then V gets his surgery and everything is peachy keen. He lives another day somewhere, someplace, somehow. Anyways, now the story is over. How would I grade this story? Well, it was up and down. This game is on and off for, everything the main storyline wants to be. How was the story? Was the story good? Yeah, I mean, it was alright. Nothing really special there. It feels like they wrote it in a short amount of time. To me, they got Act 1 done, and they're like, oh shit, we have to make more for this game. Then they decided to make the Takamura questline, and then shit themselves again, realizing they needed even more. But it was far too late at this point. So a lot of it feels rushed. The soundtrack of the game is also pretty good. It's what you expect of a Cyberpunk game. It fits the genre nicely. With addition to the Phantom Liberty soundtrack, that's even better. I love it. There's this one song, you look at the battle music, I think it's called The Force. It's really good. I'd say the soundtrack is good. The problem with it, not to the fault of the game, is that you hear the same battle themes over and 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 over. As for the radio music, I mean, it's fine. I didn't listen to it when streaming, obviously, but some independent listening to it, and it's fine. There's some really good songs on there. Male V versus female V. The voice acting is wildly different. His tone's very off and on sometimes. Sometimes you'll have one tone being uttered and something wildly different. My question is that the fault of male V? Or was it the studio smashing multiple recording sessions into one? Or was it a poor voice director? I'm not exactly sure. Female's voice is, I just plain don't like it. I see a lot of people playing as female V, or they say female V has the best voice. She does not. Male V is just so much better to me. I think they're just saying that because they want to play as a girl. Nothing wrong with that, but, at least say it. Admit to yourself. Alright, no need to kid yourself here. The gameplay of Cyberpunk 2077 is rich, engaging, and outright fun at times. The level design is really good for the regular missions, not so much for the side ones. The problem I see with the game is it's a stealth game. Many gigs have you doing stealth, and many of the main missions focus on stealth. Phantom Liberty has you going for stealth for most of it. If I were to make a scale, I'd put Metal Gear Solid as a 1 and Call of Duty as a 10. Deus Ex Human Revolution, wonderful stealth game. I put it at 3 because you can do action. It's not really recommended, but you can, but it's mostly a stealth game. Cyberpunk's mostly a 4 or a 5. Because it's a game that's completely focused on stealth. That says, hey, you could do action if you want. And it's sometimes good. I think it's more fun than stealth. But, we're going to berate you for having the action. Right? It's a stealth game. And the problem with this is when you do get to the inevitable boss battles, you're screwed. It's just not good. If you don't optimize your build, well, you're pretty much bent over backwards at all times. The average person who's just playing the game to play it isn't exactly going to have the greatest of times here. The aesthetics of the game for being Cyberpunk are hit and miss. And people were angry the game was going to be, sunlight and desert. I was like, hey, this is fine, whatever. I think having some Badlands and daytime are completely fine. It doesn't have to be one-to-one Blade Runner. But I was expecting a bit more. Most of the Night City doesn't feel Cyberpunk. It feels punk, sure, but just not cyber. It doesn't feel like it's 2077. It doesn't feel like the future. With the bulk of the game being focused in Santo Domingo and the Badlands, a chunk of the map is just solar panels and biotechnica processing farms. Sometimes the map just cuts you off and says you can't go there. And as far as Cyberpunk settings go, it just doesn't feel like it at times. It feels like a futuristic GTA 5, and that's not a good thing. You have the downtown, you have Kabuki, you have Japantown, and maybe some Haywood, maybe a teeny bit of Watson. I like these. I really like those a lot. Those are cyberpunky. The rest of the map is just not. So all in all, was Cyberpunk a good game? Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's alright. I'd give it a meh. There were times where I was loving it, times where I was hating it. The highs were incredibly high, and those lows were exceptionally low. Terrible. Bad. The game frustrated me to no end at points. When I play it again, totally at some point down the line, I'd probably want to optimize my build more though. This game could have been so much more. It's the game of what could be and what if, but never is. I feel like they kept rewriting things and redeveloping. Feels like it was done in a year, and there's still so many bugs left over, even after they're quote-unquote fixed everything. The game's a mess, honestly. But it's not terrible. This game is alright. Nothing too bad or atrocious. And there's a lot that makes up for it. So again, was Cyberpunk 2077 a good game? Meh.